Hey everyone, welcome back to John's Watch. Today I'm going to be taking a look at a new game called Gloomy Eyes. This game was released on Steam on September 12th, 2025. Its regular price is $34.99 Canadian or regional equivalent, and it's developed by Atlas V, B Revolution Gaming, 3DAR, Fishing Cactus, and Art France, and it's published by Art France and Untold Tales. This is a cozy horror self-co-op adventure about two unlikely souls who forge a forbidden bond and journey together to find the sun. Explore eerie yet charming Tim Burton-esque levels, switch between two unique characters, and solve brain-teasing puzzles. So the idea of a cozy horror game definitely intrigued me. I took a look at the screenshots. Definitely looks very Tim Burton-esque, and yeah, they definitely mentioned that in the Steam description. A lot of the screenshots made it look like the world was almost like a diorama style, and that's not too far off. The game is split up into 14 different chapters, and they all vary in scale, but most of them are fairly short and small, and they're all self-contained, and you always have this option of zooming the camera way out, and you can rotate the entire level in front of you, which definitely makes it look a bit like a diorama, so it's a really neat effect. This game seems to be set in, or after, or yeah, probably after, shortly after a zombie apocalypse, because there are zombies everywhere. And you play as two characters. As it said, it's a self-co-op game, but at the start you play as the character of Gloomy, who is a young boy zombie, and you play as him for the first two chapters, and then in chapter 3 you get to play as Nena, who is a human girl. And Gloomy and Nena have a connection. Basically, as the description said, they journey together to find the sun. The sun is missing, the world is in a state of perpetual night, but Nena can see the sun in Gloomy's eyes, which is very sweet. And so for the first couple of chapters, I think it's the first two chapters for Gloomy, and the third and fourth chapter for Nena, you just play as the individual characters, and you learn about their strengths and weaknesses. So Gloomy, because he's a zombie, he is very strong. He's able to pick things up, he's able to move things around, but he is weak to light sources. So in his chapters, you'll basically, if you walk under a street light, you'll die, and you'll go back to your last checkpoint. So in order to get around that, Gloomy has to pick up things he finds, like bricks or logs, and he can usually throw those items at a switch or something to make the light either turn off or spin out of the way. Nena isn't as strong as Gloomy, so she's not able to pick up things or move them, but she's more nimble, so she's able to jump across gaps. She's able to climb things like ladders and vines later on. But as a human, she's obviously weak to zombies. And while Gloomy can just walk past all the zombies that are around, some of them are caged, some of them are trapped. If Nena walks in front of even a caged zombie, they'll reach out and grab her and chomp her, and just like Gloomy getting caught by the light, you'll then have to reset to your last checkpoint. And so yeah, at the start of the game, you learn each character's strengths and weaknesses and how to get around obstacles by themselves. But then, I'm pretty sure it was in chapter 5, they meet up. And the first chapter is set in an abandoned school, and there's some lights there, there's generators and switches that you can flick to change what lights are on and things like that. And of course there's also zombies, so then you start learning how to use the two characters together in order to change up obstacles and stuff. Say there's a zombie blocking Nena's path. Your job then as Gloomy is to go find a way to maybe get a light to shine on that zombie. So the zombie will be blinded by the light, he'll be being damaged by it, and then Nena is able to just walk safely past him because she's in the light. And I absolutely loved this game. I thought it was so charming, very, very Tim Burton-esque, as I said. Definitely reminds me of quite a bit like Coraline, but yeah, cozy horror games like that. It's definitely inspired by media like that. I do think it's probably too expensive. The graphics are absolutely beautiful. There's a narrator, and he is fully voiced, and he's really, really good. He's got a lovely Irish accent, and yeah, loved his voice acting, the narration. He's the only one voiced. All the other characters just kind of do like kind of sounds. And even though it is high quality, and even though I absolutely loved it, it only took me 3 hours to beat the game. Now, I have no problem at all with short games like that. You know, I absolutely love being able to pick up a game and finish it in an afternoon. But $35 Canadian is just far more than I would want to pay for this game, unfortunately. I think if it was maybe like 25 Canadian, something like that, I think that'd be a bit more reasonable, but it's definitely too expensive for what you're getting. There's no branching paths or anything. If you're not going to achievement hunt, you're not going to get anything out of going back to replay the game. You can pick which chapters to play once you've unlocked them all, which is quite nice, again, if you want to go achievement hunting. But, you know, there's no multiple endings or anything, so once you've beaten it in the 3 hours, you're probably not going to need to play it again, and $35 is just quite expensive for that. On my first playthrough, my only playthrough so far, I unlocked 11 out of 29 achievements. So I've got 18 left, and a lot of them do look quite fun, actually, so I think at some point I'm probably just gonna pop into all the chapters that I missed achievements in, and just grab those, because I don't think it'll take very long with all the chapters being unlocked. So I will get a little bit more out of this, but I can't imagine it'll take more than an hour to get the rest of the achievements I'm missing. I did note that a couple of the Steam reviews mentioned bugs, and I had 2 bugs in my 3 hours, which is quite a lot for 3 hours. Basically, both times a character got stuck. And the first time, I was able to eventually get Gloomy unstuck. I think I just switched to Nena and then back again and just kind of waggled the analog stick, and he got out. The second time, I got Nena completely stuck. She was just kind of like caught like off a staircase, you know, just kind of like 2 feet in the void, and she could not get back at all. Luckily, the game's pretty generous with checkpoints, so I was able to just press start and reload checkpoint, and I didn't lose like any progress. But yeah, I did get characters caught twice. I did notice a couple of times that there's like some collision missing. So as Gloomy in an early chapter, I was able to just like walk into a rock and a tree, and I was definitely worried it was gonna like, you know, he was gonna fall out of the world or something, but he was okay. He just phased through some textures, very minor, but just thought I would mention that. I did also find that a couple of the later chapters got very, very difficult. Most of the game is not difficult at all. It's just very fun and enjoyable, but two of the later chapters I found quite frustrating, and I did have to look up a guide on how to do them. It was just, there's just a lot of variables when you've got 2 characters to control. So, you know, there's twice the options, and one of them was I would have to rotate this part of the environment. It was a carousel in a theme park, and that just introduced so many branching paths in the environment that I really struggled with that part. So a couple of the levels were a little bit annoying, I found, but overall, absolutely loved it. Thought it was a wonderfully charming game. I guess I will mention there's practically no settings at all for graphic settings. There was just low, medium, and high presets. There was chromatic aberration, which didn't actually bother me too much in this game because everything was so stylized and very dim anyway. It wasn't as jarring as I find it in a lot of games. I'd obviously still like the option to disable it because I still hate that effect. But yeah, not enough graphics settings, literally just low, medium, and high, and they don't tell me what's included in those settings is always quite frustrating. So there you go, fairly short review for a very short game. Like I said, overall, I really, really liked it. Thoroughly enjoyed my 3 hours with it. We'll probably go back and get the rest of the achievements at some point, but I think it is just too expensive at full price, unfortunately. That was a look at Gloomy Eyes. Thank you guys very much for watching. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!